segment this morning with Vice Mayor Jim Schulman. Good to have him on. The number 737-7587 if you want to join us. And Linda waited through the break, so how about we take Linda's call? Linda, good morning to you. Linda, hi.
Good morning. I was going to try to keep my mouth shut, but I just couldn't.
That's all right.
In regards to the gun take back from these churches, 6 or 7 churches, and they say that they're going to lock the guns up in a strong box or whatever. Can the police department not go pick them up at the end of the day? Because I can just see somebody that knows about it going in and breaking in and getting the strong box. Oh. So I just was wondering about that. I mean, I guess I think out of the box and what the future might hold, but somebody will figure that out.
Yeah, interesting. I had not thought of it. Thank you for your call. How familiar are you? And you want to remind the viewers what this is about? It's the Metro Police trying to get guns off the streets that are illegal or not, properly owned.
I saw part of the story, and it was, I think they're collecting the guns in. I don't know if you're giving something back out or you're just taking the guns in with no questions asked. But, one of the biggest problems that we have going on in the city are people, there are obviously more guns out there. They put them in their car. They probably leave them sitting someplace where people can see, or they tuck them underneath the seat, and then kids are breaking into the cars, and that's what they're getting.
Right.
And the police keep telling people to lock their cars. I think there's a bill floating around, I don't know if it'll pass in the state legislature, about people being responsible for leaving their cars unlocked and people stealing their guns or whatever, or maybe even just leaving guns in cars and people stealing them. Look, if we're going to have more guns in our society, which at this point we are in this state, people, I think, do need to be responsible. Because if young kids get a hold of these things and go around and kill other people or harm other people, how do they shouldn't have gotten them in the first place.
Yeah.
And so I think what Linda's talking about is the same type of thing.
Aren't you worries that someone could target the churches where some of these guns are going to be collected? I'm just guessing, Linda, on this. I hear what you're saying. I wouldn't worry too much about that. I think the much greater concern is what Jim just said. People leaving their guns unattended. Every week, Metro Police sends out 30 guns have been stolen from cars where they were left unlocked and the gun was right there. I think in this case, when people are dropping off these weapons at these churches to be collected by police, they're going to be kept very securely. It's in a church. And I'd be very surprised, though I don't rule out your thought. I mean, it's legit that someone's going to target that to go take an arsenal of weapons. I would imagine they're going to be controlled and picked up pretty quick on that front.
And I think, the good point about what Linda's saying is, look, my guess is you're probably right.
Yeah.
That there are going to be plenty of security and they're going to have a way of dealing with all this stuff. But if not, she just gave everybody a point, and that is we need to make sure that those guns are taken care of at the end of the day.
Get them and pick them up and all that. Just before we wrap things up, you probably know about as much of this as I do, as we've talked about in the discussions of, there's going to have to be refurbishing of our stadium. We're talking about Nissan Stadium for football. And now, of course, everyone's talking about, well, instead of refurbishing it, it's going to cost so much to do that. Why not just tear it down and build a new one, which would cost at minimum $2 billion with a B dollars for the Titans. Just as we're building this new soccer stadium, and, we've got to do some upkeep to the speedway next to it. We've got the baseball stadium here, and of course we have Bridgestone Arena. What do you think? That much money for a new stadium and how we're going to pay for it. A lot of talk about it.
So all of a sudden it just showed up, all of a sudden there was this talk about it. I know that the Titans and their ownership have talked about redeveloping around the stadium. And I've seen some of that, and I think a lot of what they're talking about is probably a good thing. The stadium stuff just kind of popped up, and all of a sudden people started talking about it. We haven't seen anything about that yet. Mayor's office may have, the council office has not, in the sense of people coming over and giving us some type of formal presentation. Look, at this point, we got a lot of problems going on in the city. We're trying to pick up our trash on time, our recycling stopped. People, are concerned about crime. Our schools I think the world of Dr. Battle, but you know, we have got to come up with some innovation program there to help those kids.
So you're saying other priorities before a stadium?
It's just, you know, I've told the mayor this a couple of times. Sometimes it's the little things that matter.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I said, trash. It's the potholes around the city.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised I haven't had a flat tire. Some of these potholes are just amazing. It's cleaning up some things that we need to take care of. So
I like the infrastructure.
I think
we're not saying the city would pay for it all anyway, right? I mean, the Titans
talking about
would
the
have
stadium?
to,
Yeah. So that's why we haven't seen any
like
of the.
we had personal seat licenses could come up again. You know what it was, Jim? I don't know if you watched the Super Bowl or not, but you know, millions did see SoCal Stadium there. You know that whatever SoFi Stadium, where the Rams played and hosted the Super Bowl. That thing. It looks like something from outer space. It's so space-aged, and it's the newest stadium in the NFL. And it's glitzy, it's spectacular, and they show it. And so people see that, and then they look at Nissan Stadium, which was new 22 years ago. I went to games there this year. It's fine. Is it older? Yes. Is it safe? I believe it is. But you can just tell it's an older concrete structure that probably needs some refurbishing. But it's nothing like these. And some people are saying in this day and age, if you have a pro football team, do you need to have a SoFi Stadium?
Well, let's. I'll end this conversation this way.
Okay.
Okay.
Just yeah.
So right now, I get up every morning and turn on the world news.
And then watch me.
No, and then I watch you.
Okay.
And then I go home at night and turn on the world news. And I see, and there's a reason I'm going this way. We got people in a country that are being attacked and are hiding in buildings and building Molotov cocktails, and they're trying to get their kids out of Ukraine. The Metro Council has no authority over that. Now, we do have a resolution coming tonight that is going to proclaim Thursday as kind of a citywide day of prayer for the people of Ukraine. The resolution was written so that we do remember that there are a lot of citizens in Russia that don't want to be involved in this stuff as well. Sometimes I think the idea is we've got to refocus on what's important.
Yep.
This is a very scary situation. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I worry tremendously about all those folks over there, and particularly those kids. And I'm watching that and going, you've got mothers trying to protect their children and get them out of a country.
And I am sure the resolution will pass. And by the way, we both talked before the show about how the bridge has been lit up in the colors of the Ukrainian flag. So we'll continue to follow that, and that's a good point to end on today. Jim, thanks for coming on.
Sure thing.
Listen, we'll see you again in about a month or so, okay? Have fun at tonight's meeting, because it's just nonstop fun.
It's nonstop fun, and I'll be there probably until 11 or 12 o'clock.
Our Vice Mayor. All right, we'll take a break. I'll be back. Programming note about tomorrow right after this. Stay with us.